I keep seeing videos all over the place of people saying how to change your life in a matter of days, and it's like the videos of how to become a millionaire in 3 simple steps. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean change your life? Does that mean make a bunch of money? Does that mean lose a bunch of weight at the gym? Is changing my life technically not doing one hard gym session, changing my physical appearance, and therefore changing my life? Anyways, I'm sick of it. So I'm going to make the exact same video. But I'm going to make the video that I wish that I saw. This video is for people that lack direction. They feel like every day is the same as the last, and you want to know what you can do so that in 3 months' time, you're in a completely different place to where you are now. A place where you want to be, closer towards your goals, more fulfilling, and all that good stuff. Because I changed my life quite drastically in about 6-7 months. From working a part-time job at college to moving out halfway across the country, renting my own apartment, and buying my dream car at the age of 19. So I'm somewhat qualified to talk about it. And because the human mind so craves order, I'll put it into 3 simple steps that are simple, but they're not easy, so that you can absorb it and then take action straight after this video. And so, let's do it. To sound like a hypocrite, here are 3 simple steps to changing your life. Now, step 1 is to assess where you are. This is a step where you have to basically do some self-reflection. You have to be brutally honest with yourself and assess where you currently are in life. I know Jordan Peterson said to do this exercise as well, where you literally sit on the end of your bed and you're brutally honest with yourself. You're almost critical of yourself, of where you currently are. Because for the majority of people, you would rather not do this. You would rather not assess where you are, drop all the ego, and basically write it out on paper. Here is what I'm doing with my life currently. Because doing this, you get a true unbiased perspective of your own life, and you have to be very, very accountable for everything that you've written down. Where you are in your life may not be your fault necessarily, but is definitely your responsibility. And if you're not willing to take that responsibility, that accountability for where you are, then you are not ready for the next step of changing your life. So take accountability for everything and assess your days. What are you doing day to day? What are you doing week to week? What are you spending the majority of your time doing? Are you happy with what you're spending the majority of your time doing? All this kind of stuff. You want to be brutally honest with yourself, as if you're talking to a friend that desperately needs help. But in this case, you're the friend. And the best way to do this exercise is to literally write it down on a piece of paper. Take like 30 minutes, 40 minutes out of your day and write down everything from A to Z that you know and you feel to be true about your own life. Because when you do this exercise, you may start to uncover some things that you don't typically think about. You didn't realize that you were spending 4 or 5 hours a day on your phone. You didn't realize that you don't actually have any goals, any desires, or any direction. And it should be quite an emotional exercise, because in order to create a new foundation for your life, you have to first dig up all the dirt you possibly can. And then we move on to step 2. This is assessing where you want to be. And now this exercise is a little less depressing. This is the art of basically writing out, drawing out, like describing, illustrating your dream life. What does your dream life look like? What are you spending your days doing? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a partner? Do you have kids? Do you have animals? Do you like live in the Bahamas, or do you go on holidays 5 times a year? What does it look like? Write it out or draw it out, or the method that I use was actually getting the voice note on my phone and just like speaking it to myself, and almost just tell yourself the story. Tell yourself the story of future you and what the best case scenario would be. Now, this isn't going to say that everything in this is going to come true, but you have to create like an endpoint to where you want to get to. For example, what are the goals that you're hitting? You know, are you swole in the gym? Are you extremely smart? Are you very high up in the career, or are you an entrepreneur? You want to be as descriptive as possible, and if you're not descriptive, then you're not going to be able to create the endpoint that you're going to then create a roadmap to. And it's okay not to have every fine detail of what you want your dream life to look like, especially at a young age, but at least create a kind of like framework of what you want it to be. And before I move on, I want to quickly plug the Kaizen, my free daily email newsletter that is written for young ambitious minds to become their best selves. So don't subscribe yet, but if you enjoyed this video after you watch it and you want more content like this, you can have it daily. It takes less than 2 minutes to read every single day, and I promise you, you will become a better person for it. That'll be in the top link in the description below. And then we move on to step 3, figuring out the difference. This is where you have to figure out what you have to do in order to start creating your dream life. And I know that is extremely broad, so I'll narrow down a bit with a few examples. A good method to do this is to like embody your dream person, right? Pretend you are doing what they're doing. Pretend you're already in their shoes and see what they do day to day. If your dream character is this like high level, amazingly successful entrepreneur that created like the most innovative idea and turned it into a company, ask yourself, is the path that I'm currently on pushing me towards that end goal or that reality? Like, are you spending your days solving problems and trying to come up with ideas and this kind of thing? Is your dream character this like incredibly sporty person that does triathlons and Ironmans and stuff like that? If so, ask yourself the question, is the roadmap, the journey, the path that I'm currently on pushing me towards that? Like, am I as sporty as I want to be in the future? Because this is the step where you have to find out what you need to do differently now to start pushing you towards that end goal. And in fact, instead of creating your dream character, position it as just like a few months in the future, 3-4 months in the future. create your ideal self there. And then you can start to ask yourself the questions, what am I going to have to do now differently in order to get to that point? What am I going to have to sacrifice? What am I going to have to start doing differently? Are you spending the majority of your days gaming or on your phone? If so, then that might be something that you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice that instant kind of dopamine release in order to provide this life for your future self. And then you can start to create a list of what's holding you back from getting to that point. Like, you've created your dream character in 3-4 months time. You're here now and you need to kind of create the bridge to get you to that point. And you can ask yourself, does my dream character play Xbox every day? If not, why are you doing that? Does he go to the gym once a week or does he go 6 times a week? He goes 6 times a week. Okay, why are you not going 6 times a week currently then? And you can keep repeating this process until you're at the point where everything you are doing now is in line with who you want to become. And that's basically it. That is a 3-step process that you need to take. Assess where you are, assess where you want to be, and then assess the difference, the thing that's in your way, or the things that you're not doing, or the sacrifices that you have to make. And at that point, it's just taking action. It's just sticking with the plan that you've made for yourself. And if you stick with that consistently and use this framework, I promise you in 3 to 4 months time, you will change your life completely. You will start to become that dream character that you envisioned yourself to be. And don't get me wrong, you may not be there completely. You may not be that millionaire that, wakes up whenever he wants to wake up in 4 months time, but I guarantee you will be much further ahead than if you didn't do this exercise at all. To be honest, once you start, you can't really stop. So it's all about just making that start. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.